Hi everybody, welcome to the Manifold channel. Today we're going to look at how to use a free tool to do something very practical. We're going to compute the visibility of towers. We want to see if a particular set of towers are visible from the landscape and exactly just how visible they are. We're going to use the free Manifold viewer. This is the Manifold viewer that's opened up here. Manifold viewer is a free download. You don't have to register or give it your email address or anything like that. There's no advertising. It doesn't try to upsell you. It's just free software in the old style. It's a very small download, typically about 50 to 60 megabytes, so it's easy to download. And what we've done here is we've opened up Viewer and we've imported two data sets. We've imported a terrain elevation data set here and a set of towers from a shapefile. What we're going to do is we're going to create a map. I'm going to right-click on Towers and choose Create New Map. And this tells us what we can do. In the map, we're going to check the terrain elevation. We want these two layers to be in the map. And I want to use a base layer that's a Bing Map satellite layer. So I'm going to click Create Map. It automatically creates the Bing Map satellite data source for me there. Double-click Open Map, and here it is. And what we see, we have three layers. We have the towers right there. We can double-click a tab on and off. We have the terrain elevation data set, which we can double-click on and off. And we have Bing Maps satellite layer in the background. Now let's turn the towers back on. I'm going to right-click and drag to zoom in. That's how you do a zoom box in Viewer. You can also use a mouse wheel to zoom in and out. But most people tend to use the zoom box, right-click and drag, because that's so quick. You can also go backwards and forwards in the view here using the back and forward buttons. You can also use these buttons here to zoom to fit, and you zoom in, zoom out, and all that other good stuff. I'm not going to cover everything about using Viewer because there's many other videos that do that. I'm just going to show you how you can do visibility zones. What we do have here is 4 towers, 1, 2, 3, 4 towers. These have been formatted using the style pane, using these different colors. And I can right-click, I can double-click open the towers table, or right-click here on the tab, and in the context menu, which is off-screen, choose Open Table. And we can shift-click on a tab to dock and undock, or you can just right-click and choose Dock or Undock. And you can see here that each tower has got a height to it that's 15. These are in meters. So if we control-click, we can see which one that is. That's right there. That's a 15-meter height. Control-click that one. That one's a 15-meter height. And the other two are 10-meter heights. And there's some comments where they're located. And so this gives the height of the tower, which we're going to use in the visibility analysis. Let's close that window there. Right-click on the caption bar to close. To get the visibility of this here, we're going to use the terrain elevation. Now, where did this terrain elevation come from? This terrain elevation data set came from Space Shuttle SRTM data. Again, I'm not going to cover how you import that and how you do all that. Let's take it as a given that you brought that in as a terrain elevation data set. That's very easy to do, but we want to keep this video short. And it's been styled using this thematic format, using these colors here. If you just bring in the terrain elevation data set, and it's all black and white because it's the default formatting, you can still work with it, but I like to use style to make them pretty, like you see here. Now, to compute the actual visibility, we're going to click on the transform pane right there, and if the transform pane isn't visible, you can choose View, Panes, and turn the transform pane on. And here we're going to choose the data set that we're working with, the terrain elevation data set, and we're going to use the tile field. That tile field actually gives the heights of the terrain elevation data set. And I want to see the view shed, and this produces visibility zones. So I'm going to double-click on view shed to launch that template there. And what I want to do is I want to see the visible area from any of these towers, and the Z, which is the height, is going to use the height field right there. And I'm going to create a new drawing called Visible Any, and the table that I'm going to create for that. Copy, paste, visible any table. So for every drawing has a table in Manifold Viewer. And let's see. Let's do a preview to see what this is going to generate. If I click Preview, you're going to see what it does is it creates these polygons here. And these polygons, anything within any of these polygons is visible from any of the towers. If I like, I can in the preview I can choose opacity, make that 50% opacity, so you can see how this relates to the towers. Let's go ahead and actually create that. Let's do the transform. Click Transform, and it actually creates a new drawing. So you can see there's a new drawing now called Visible Any. If I drag and drop Visible Any into the map, there it is in default formatting. And let's style that. Let's make it a brighter color. What should we use for a brighter color? Let's make it a Let's use that color right there. And in the layers pane, let's make that. Let's double click that visible any layer. Let's make that visible any layer. Let's make that 80% opaque. No, that's actually not quite enough. Let's make it a 50% so we can see through it. There. Anything that's in any one of these regions here, in any one of these color regions here, for example, this dot right there, anybody that's standing right here is going to be able to see all 4 towers. So if you want to see what the visibility of these towers is from any place in this terrain, because let's say right over here there's a national park, or there's some other sort of a reason why you don't want to see these towers visible, say they're electric conductivity towers, from any one of these locations here, all 4 of them are visible. Is that what we did? Yeah, no, visible layer from any. At least one of them is visible from all these locations there. Let's do the other analysis, which is let's find spots where all 4 towers are visible from any of these. And to do that, I'm going to change here in the transform pane, not visible area from any. I'm going to change visible level from visible area from all. Okay, same relative Z, and we'll change the name of the drawing here. Let's choose that visible all table, and click preview to see how that works. Okay, and these are the spots where all the towers are visible from, and let's click transform to actually create that new drawing. Now you can see there's a visible all drawing, and let's choose visible all, and let's drag and drop that into the display here, and let's make that a different color. Let's choose a style. Let's make that a bright blue. There we go. So what we have here now is we've added 2 new layers in terms of our visibility analysis. We have a visible all layer, and I can double click that layer to turn it off and on, or if I like in the layers pane, I can just click the little checkbox there to turn it on and off. And we have the visible any layer. The visible any layer, if from any of these locations within these polygons, at least one of the towers is visible. And in the visible all, any location in these polygons, all 4 of the towers are visible. Generally what we want is we probably want the visible layer any. In other words, we want to see where any of these 4 towers are visible. If you want to see where individual towers are visible, that's easy to do. So for example, let's say we want to see where this particular tower is visible. What we do is we click on the towers layer to select that, and then I'm going to control drag here to select that. And you can see the tower is now selected. It's a bright red color. I'm going to turn this visible layer any off. And now let's go back here to the transform pane. We're still working with the terrain elevation layer, still the tile. And now I want to see the visible layer from all, but click view from selection only. So it's going to do the visible layer from all, but only for this particular tower there. Or if you like, visible layer area from any, but only from this selection only. So from any of the selected ones, which was just this one tower there. Click preview, and that'll show us all the regions where this tower is visible. And let's click, let's see, visible mid tower. And here, we'll rename the table to mid tower table. And click transform. And there we've created a new drawing. Let's drag and drop that into the map. What color should we use for this? Let's style this. Let's choose a color that's visible. Nice visible color, and let's choose that color there. That's kind of bright, garish, but what the heck? We can turn that down a bit by changing the opacity. There. Now these bright green zones show the regions from which this particular tower is visible. Notice how with the way the transformer, it's visible. It's the visible area from this tower. If you're standing in this tower at the height of that tower, you'll be able to see all these different regions there. They're not hidden by various ridges and other stuff. Conversely, if you're standing in one of these regions here, you'll be able to see at least the top of that tower. So visibility works 2 ways. If it's like when you're driving in a car, if you can see the eyes of a different driver, say a truck driver or something, that truck driver can see you as well. It goes both ways. So what we've done here is we've used a free tool to do 3 types of visibility analyses. The first one we did is we found the visible regions that are from any of these 4 towers, and if you want to find a location where none of these 4 towers are visible, you want to find something outside of those kind of purplish polygons. We also did an analysis to find those locations where all 4 towers are visible, So if you want to find a location where all 4 towers are visible, let's say, maybe it's some kind of monitoring station where you got line of sight antenna locations, and you need to site an antenna where if you put the antenna right here, that has line of sight communications to all 4 towers, say because it's doing some sort of monitoring of the tower to determine the status of that tower, whether there's any problem with the equipment on it or something like that. You could put it right there. And then we've done a visible mid-tower location, which shows us the all the spots that are visible that can see just that one tower. And we could have repeated this for all 4 towers to create all the different zones for each individual of those 4 towers are located. We've done all this using a free tool. Very frequently, analysis like this requires software that costs thousands of dollars, and it's not going to work as fast as Viewer. Besides being totally free, Viewer is also fully parallel. It's actually fully CPU parallel and fully GPU parallel. As you can see in the resources here, it's using all CPU cores. If you're running on a Ryzen 9 3900X, as we are like on this machine, which is 24 hypercores, it's going to use all 24 hypercores to calculate these analyses. Which is pretty amazing. That's one reason why it's so fast and why I can do analyses like this virtually instantaneously, which would take many minutes or even an hour in other software. I hope you've enjoyed this. Download Viewer, give it a try. There's thousands of more things you can do with Viewer. It's a really spectacular tool. Certainly get a lot of bang for your buck considering that it's free. Thanks for watching, and goodbye from Manifold Land. Well, that was fun. If you want to see more, visit us at www.manifold.net. As always, Manifold delivers the world's most advanced, highest quality spatial products for GIS and DBMS at a low price that you can afford. Once again, that's manifold.net. See you soon.